Dr. Larley here, and I'm making a special recording of Hebrews, Bible 306, lesson plan number 26, Sanctified. And the objective is to learn some things about sanctification and how it is obtained, provided, and how it is used in the life of the believer. In this lesson on sanctification, the student will learn the full measure which the Trinity plays in the sanctification of the believer. The student will come to understand the importance of the written word in the believer's sanctification and the personal responsibility of the believer to be being sanctified in a practical Christian life. Roman numeral 1. Sanctification unifies. Hebrews 2:11. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one, for which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren. In the case of the Bible believer, the sanctifier is God in the Trinity. In Jesus' prayer, John 17, he prayed for the disciples to be one with him and the Father. To be sanctified simply means to be set apart. Exodus 19:14. And Moses went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. Here Moses is the sanctifier. Moses employed the standards of separation and cleanliness God imposed by law. Exodus 29:43. And there I will meet with the children of Israel, and the tabernacle shall be sanctified by my glory. In the process of finishing the tabernacle, the priest offered blood sacrifice and sprinkled it upon the altar and all the instruments and on the mercy seat. When this was completed, the Lord came down, entered the tabernacle with all his glory, thus making it the holiest of all. Leviticus 10:3. Then Moses said unto Aaron, This is it that the Lord said, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me, and before all the people I will be glorified. And Aaron held his peace. The priest, especially the high priest, had a cleansing ritual to go through before they could enter the tabernacle and offer the blood sacrifices. This was most important to the high priest when entering the holiest of all. How do you cleanse yourself before entering the sanctuary of your church? 1 Samuel 16:5. And he said, Peaceably, I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord. Sanctify yourselves, and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons, and called them to the sacrifice. Samuel comes to anoint David king. Samuel sanctifies the whole family of Jesse before making a sacrifice and choosing David for the anointing. Are you sanctified by self and the Lord, ready to be chosen for his work? 2 Chronicles 29:15. And they gathered their brethren and sanctified themselves, and came, according to the commandment of the king, by the words of the Lord, to cleanse the house of the Lord. After the temple had been desecrated, the people went about to clean the house. But before there being house cleaning, they cleansed themselves. Before you start doing God's work, do you make sure you are clean? Acts 20:32. And now, brethren, I commend you to God and to the word of his grace, which is able to build you up and to give you an inheritance among all them which are sanctified. The building of your character and to give you a place among the sanctified, you must be spending time in the Word. Full, mature sanctification will only come as you learn of God by his Word. Joshua 3:5. And Joshua said unto the people, Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. Again, before God shows up, the people are to be sanctified. The verse says, sanctify yourselves. This means it is a self process. There are things you do to be sanctified. What are you doing about your sanctification? Roman numeral 2, sanctification is eternal. Hebrews 10:10, by the which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once for all. Those who accept the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross are set apart by his body. It is permanent. It is once for all. This is a point for which we call eternal security. If it is not once for all, then it is only temporary. Hebrews 10:14, for by one offering he hath perfected forever them that are sanctified. This blood and body sanctification makes the sanctified one perfect forever. Again, this is a permanent proposition. Hebrews 10:29, of how much sorer punishment, suppose ye, shall he be thought worthy, who hath trodden under foot the Son of God, and hath put him to an open shame. I read that wrong. Of how much sore punishment, suppose ye, shall he be thought worthy, who hath trodden under foot the Son of God, and hath counted the blood of the covenant, wherewith he was sanctified, an unholy thing, and hath done despite unto the Spirit of grace. It's a very similar verse that I was quoting. The book of Hebrews, to the Hebrews in the tribulation, or even today, who reject the blood atonement will be assigned a greater punishment than those who give it no consideration at all. 2 Thessalonians 2:13. But we are bound to give thanks always for God for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because God hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth. Salvation comes to the believer through the sanctifying power of the Holy Spirit and the belief of the truth by the believer. This means sanctification comes in at the moment of belief, and growth and maturity follow. John 17:19, and for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth. This emphasizes the necessity for the truth of the Word of God. Jesus sanctified himself because he could. In the sense of this sanctification, you cannot sanctify yourself. Verse 17 displays the method. Sanctify them through thy truth, thy word is truth. You want to be a sanctified person of God? Then you need to immerse yourself in the Holy Bible. Such a baptism of the Word will clean up your act, and you will be sanctified holy. Ephesians 5:26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word. This is the sanctifying power of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. You can have as much of this holiness as you want. Remember, Jesus said the Father would give the Holy Ghost to them who ask. Hebrews, Roman numeral 3. Sanctification is by blood. Hebrews 9:13. For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of an heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctify to the purifying of the flesh, these blood sacrifices can satisfy the sanctification of the flesh until the next commission of offense. Or in the case of the annual Day of Atonement, the sins were rolled away for that year. They could not provide permanent sanctification. Hebrews 13:12. And we will take a slight pause here. Hebrews 13:12. Wherefore Jesus also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffered without the gate. Jesus became the scapegoat, which was taken out into the desert and let go to carry away the sin of the people. Jesus went outside the gate of Jerusalem to be crucified in the place of the skull. He emptied himself for your fullness. 1 Peter 1:2, elect, according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Jesus Christ. Grace unto you and peace be multiplied. On the day of Pentecost, the Holy Ghost was given as Jesus said he would be given. But this could not have happened if Jesus had not died, rose from the dead, and took his blood into the holiest of all and sprinkled it on the mercy seat in the true tabernacle of heaven. 1 Corinthians 1:2. Unto the church of God, which is at Corinth, to them that are sanctified in Christ Jesus, called to be saints, with all that in every place call upon the name of Jesus Christ our Lord, both theirs and ours. Here we return to the starting place of all sanctification, Jesus Christ. When you become a part of the body of the church of God in Christ, you also become a saint. You do not need any recognition from Rome to confirm that fact. 1 Corinthians 6:11, and such were some of you, but ye are washed, but ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name of the Lord Jesus, and by the Spirit of our God. Here again is the Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. All are participants in your sanctification. Now it is your turn to act that way. Jude 1:1. Jude, the servant of Jesus Christ, the brother of James, to them that are sanctified by God the Father, and preserved in Jesus Christ, and called. Whoa, here. Again, here we have your sanctification tied to the Father, your preservation tied to the Son, Jesus Christ. Can you get any better than that? Conclusion of this lesson. In this lesson on sanctification, the full measure of your life in Christ has been made manifest. Your sanctification began with the Father in his sending Jesus. Your sanctification is continued by Jesus in his holy life, crucifixion, resurrection, and ascension to heaven. At Pentecost, your sanctification was sealed by the Holy Ghost and is now made practical by a full measure of the entire written Word of God, the King James Holy Bible. Now it is up to you to use all of this to live a practical Christian life, sanctified and meet for the Master's use. Amen.